welcome back to the channel. My name is Katie. My dress still doesn't fit right, but I'm back after some research. Guys, it looks like this is all true. Holy crap, we've got the Musks who dated the Epsteins. What is happening? What is going on? Now, we know that Elon has denied, and by the way, I have tons of videos about this. Make sure and go look at the cards. I have videos on the Elon, Amber Heard, Epstein connection going on. But guys, it's getting crazy. Apparently not. Now, Elon has said, I don't know him. And I've even gone to bat for Elon in a sense of, I went and did some digging and done a couple videos on this about does Elon know Jeffrey? And I can understand when you're at that level of wealth, you're going to run into people. You're going to be rubbing elbows and bumping into all different types of people, and some you don't even know. Like, apparently there's a photo that's circulated of Ghislaine and Elon's been like, she photobombed me. I don't know who that is. Now, I'm not saying it is or isn't true. I'm just giving the perspective that, you know, it is entirely possible, right? That it is that she just photobombed him. And how many, you know, and when you're dealing with that kind of money and that elite society, you're surrounded by evil. You're going to be surrounded by all kinds of evil people. And you might even be photographed with them. Doesn't necessarily make you guilty by association, but this is a bombshell. What is going on and what am I talking about? So we know Jessica Krause has a Substack, right? And it's gotten so much attention, and she has been outing so many things. So go check out my video from the other day about Amber Heard and the embryos, because it looks like that's all true. And that's coming out. But now this is part 2 of that Substack, all about Elon Musk, Amber Heard, and the connection with Jeff and Ghislaine. It's getting crazy. And not only that, that his family has dating ties with them. Like, what is this? Which would mean that every time Elon has said, I don't know these people, I'm not associated, he is lying. And by the way, I want you guys to understand, I'm not trying to defend Elon. I'm not here to say he is or isn't lying. I just try to give as much well-rounded perspective in general. Now, with that being said, I think Elon is funny. I think he's fun. I tend to like him in many ways. I like his entrepreneurial spirit. I like the fact that he's got that interstellar thing. As you guys know, my passion is I want to bring positive aliens to the earth. Positive if you're an a-hole, human or otherwise, stay away from me. But that's a passion of mine, so I can actually relate to him about, you know, wanting to go to other planets and things. Like, all day, every day, boo. And if you got the money and you are a manifestor that can create that, do it. But with that being said, when you have that kind of money, you're dealing with that, you're going to deal with all types of evil people. Doesn't necessarily make you bad by association, except that he's been lying about it, is what it seems like. We're going to get on my computer and I'm going to show you everything. But before we do, to those of you that are new, hi, how are you? My name's Katie, and on this channel, I just giggle at all the trending topics and we just figure out what we can extrapolate, because I've said this in so many videos. I'm like, we hear nothing about Ghislaine and Jeff and an airplane and a little black book, but we hear nothing except Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. But now they're connected. So now I'm into it. Now my passion's peaked and sparked. And I'm going to give you guys a good video. So if you want to see more stuff like this, and we're going to laugh at how silly this all is and bring light to something so dark, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell, because you know I love to have y'all around. Okay, so let's see if my mic cuts out. Slow. You got to go real slow, gently, just kind of drag. I just kind of drag on this side. We're good. So let's go back. So here we go. I'm going to go back just a little bit. So in the first part of this article, and again, too much to go over, go check out the other video. Also, this dress is not going to fit right. Figuring out my new body. I've given up, but I love the dress, so I'm wearing it. If my chesticles bother you, this is not the video for you. It's not intentional, but even if it was, I can do whatever I want because it's my body. And in saying that, just because somebody wants to sexualize my body doesn't mean it is a sexual object for anyone whatsoever. It is a meat sack that my consciousness decided to incarnate in, to use to have the experiences on this planet that I and you do. Let's dive in. Here we go. So it says, the first part of this was more about talking about some of the connections and some of the sources when it comes to what's going on with Elon Musk, and also talks about those Amber Heard embryos and says that that's been confirmed, which means that Una Page is probably Elon's, or if not, what happens is when Amber wants something, she's got these embryos, she's hanging over Elon's head, and then he just jumps. Something to think about. So here we go. It says, now this is all about Elon, Amber, and Epsteinians. Epsteinians. For fun, I rounded up a few examples of my favorite Elon fumbles, and it says, the Epstein connection. Elon has long denied that he ever met or knew or accepted advice or money from Epstein, but evidence suggests otherwise. There's plenty of documentation of the two at the same event multiple times throughout the years. And it's well known that Kimball, Elon's brother, was introduced to Elon by a girlfriend, which we know is more likely Ghislaine. We're going to get into that. So it says trending. Jeff Epstein set Elon Musk's brother up with a girlfriend in an effort to get close to the Tesla founder, sources say. Multi-millionaire, intimacy criminal, please infer. Jeffrey Epstein introduced Kimball Musk, Elon's brother, to a woman in his entourage, two sources tell Business Insider. The woman, who had previously dated Epstein and lived in an apartment building where he was known to house models, dated Kimball Musk from 2011 to 2012. Okay, so it looks like, because I was a little bit confused about this last time, because the way it was worded earlier, if you saw, it looked like it was possible that he dated Ghislaine. So he didn't date Ghislaine, but it sounds like Ghislaine probably set him up with this model. And it says, though the relationship was by all accounts genuine, the sources say Epstein hoped it would open doors to Elon Musk and his companies. Epstein and his entourage were granted a private tour of Musk's SpaceX facility in Hawthorne, California in 2012. Now, with that being said, Musk has said that never happened as far as he is aware. Not saying it did, not saying it didn't. I'm just telling you that's what Elon has said. And then here we have, it says, even if Elon Musk was telling the truth about never knowing Ghislaine Maxwell, he very much met with Jeff Epstein on more than one occasion while Epstein was known to the public as a intimacy offender, which is definitely still commendable. And it says, Elon Musk got a posh billionaire's dinner with Jeff. And we've known that. I think I've covered that one as well, or if not, it's coming up in an upcoming video. I have several videos where I take some time to really research before I, dive in and just start talking about it. And they did meet at a dinner party and have dinner together. And you can see right here, it says, the woman who had previously dated Epstein and lived in an apartment building where he was known to house models dated Kimball Musk from 2011 to 2012. So here we go, and it says, Elon Musk saying he never met Epstein is the wildest crap ever. And it says, the 2011 billionaire dinner looks like absolute dog feces. Just a horrible looking crowd at a terrible party. So apparently this was the party, right, of all of these people. And not only that, okay, couple things. Just because they all had a billionaire's party, right, doesn't mean that Elon even remembers meeting him. Now, you guys might be like, come on, that's a stretch. Here's the thing, like I said, you meet, in those positions, you meet so many people. So many people. And I will say this is just personally for me. I'm not saying this is Elon. But guys, I don't remember anybody's name as I'm older. And it's great coming from the Midwest because I use and I've been like this for years, right? I've always been like this, but I use my Midwestern colloquialism. So your hon, sweetheart, sugar, baby doll, pudding, muffin. I love calling people muffins because I like muffins. Cupcake. So I use a lot of those kind of pet names for people. And a lot of it is, I don't remember your name. There's a lot of honey. But that's also just part of the culture of where I come from, right? And I've just kind of dug into that, I guess. Never dug into that. That's just kind of ingrained in me to an extent. It's a way of just being loving and polite and almost more courteous and welcoming and inviting. And then when you get more into it, you get into the southern roots of it. It's a lot of times in these small Midwestern or southern communities, people are related, have all types of relations in those small communities. So it becomes a very familiar thing. It's that, again, that's a whole different video for a different day. But it says, talking about that he never, met him. So I'm just saying, and by the way, I'm not saying that's the case. If they set his brother up, very good chance, and he's going to dinners with him. But, I've got chronic health issues. I don't remember. I have a hard time with my memory with some things. So for my memory goes, the little, my body's the things we can cut out to help you with energy conservation and just continuing to go, we will. People's names apparently are that for me. And over the years, too, it used to be I'll never forget a face. And over the years, that's changed as well. But as far as we're aware, Elon doesn't have chronic health issues where that's an issue. But then again, he might, and he just doesn't talk about it. Because would he want that weakness being shown to the world? I'm somebody that put out my chronic health struggles, and I got a huge target on my back my first round of YouTube. And people said, oh, you're not sick, you're all of these things, because I was still in the process of getting diagnosed and figuring it out. So I could understand if he did have a chronic health issue and didn't want to talk about it. Not saying that's the case. Just throwing out different points of view. And again, I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just saying it is possible that he did meet Jeff on a few occasions and doesn't remember. But then again, if he had a private tour, But he says that didn't happen. But private tour, does that mean a private tour a la Musk himself? We don't know. And it says, from somebody named J.C. Oviedo, I think. Fun fact, Leon Black and Elon Musk both met with Jeff multiple times and visited his New York mansion. And then you see this. It says, remember whenever Elon claims to not know Ghislaine, then he met with Jeff to advise him in regards to Tesla going private? So yes, he knows them both. And it looks like somebody blocked Elon when they put something up about this. That's interesting. All right, so let's keep going. So here's the picture. I did a video about this, about Elon and Ghislaine, and it says, she photobombed me at a Vanity Fair Oscar party. Was there with Tallulah Riley. Don't know Ghislaine at all. Why do you think it should be a bigger story? Well, they're two of the worst people on the planet, at least from what we're told. You know what's sad? Ghislaine and Jeff aren't even big players, guys. That's the real thing. Now, they were the ones, they're the patsies. They were deemed patsies, so that's why they're in the position that they're in. But the real awful stuff, we don't hear about. So it says, number 2, his second wife, Tallulah, admitted that the two had visited Epstein in his mansion during one of their early New York tours. And it says, from that time, Elon Musk's ex-wife spilled that they met with Jeff while denying that they knew Ghislaine. And it says, number 3, Elon was seen at Al Seckles, a.k.a. Isabel Maxwell's husband, parties, which must have made quite an impact. Remember Justine fangirling Isabel for months on Twitter. So it says Elon was seen at Al Seckles, Isabel Maxwell's husband. Okay, so who is Isabel Maxwell? Let's look at this. It says, there's a larger message brewing here. Something about how certain behaviors that get a pass or are even admired when displayed by men are perceived negatively in women. At the same time, the messages that women internalize about the importance of being nice and remaining likable hold them back in many ways. Well, I've talked about this. Women are going to be, by nature, we are more passive and more agreeable. And men are more disagreeable. And people who are disagreeable tend to be able to become more successful. So for instance, and this has happened with me with business. When I talk business, when I do business with people, many times, they don't like it. They get very, very intimidated. And it's not that I'm being mean. It's that fun, sweet energy, which is still me, all of a sudden is hyper-focused on, here are the plans, what are the numbers, what are we doing? And people don't know how to deal with that simply because I'm a woman coming at you with that much intensity. Again, it's not mean. But when I take all that hyper-fun, bubbly energy, I take it and I focus it somewhere else. Because remember, that big energy you feel, that's focused to all types of things. But that's why I'm good at building. I can take intense energy and create something with it, right? But I do agree with her on this, that this is that is kind of interesting. And just in general, we raise women to be likable, right? Be kind, be sweet. We don't necessarily say that to our boys. We teach them to be gentlemen, which is great, right? But with women, it's all we kind of, to me in essence, we teach women how to be people pleasers. That's what we teach them. And then we also have that innate caretaker thing because we are women and that's just who we are naturally. And I know everybody falls differently on that spectrum. Just saying general women, right? And so then Isabel Maxwell says, I would actually broaden this if I may. And it is mostly about men, yes. Certain behaviors that pass in very wealthy men as quirky or it doesn't mean anything, but you look at all the good things he does do. Those same behaviors in unwealthy men, read men without much money or power, would instantly be labeled that they are boorish. They don't like women, oafish, you get the drift. Certain messages like follow the money, follow the power are internalized by both men and women, and they are both followed, even when the men who hold both of those are really not carrying the power or money with grace, but probably with entitlement or something else not so pleasant. Interesting. Let's keep looking. It says, Isabel Max, I'll be here most of December. Would love to see you. And you should meet the kids. Isabel Max, the shot is hopefully for a visit to V-Day Project City of Joy in the Congo. Look at this, Al and Isabel. And it says, John Edwards, a retired Air Force engineer who danced in 2 Michael Jackson videos and won $100,000 on a short-lived ABC show called Dance Machine. First met Seckle through a Southern California atheists group. And for a time, the two were close friends. Edwards remembers meeting at Seckles parties. Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk, drone pioneer Paul McCready, magician, and MacArthur fellow James Amazing Randi, and Dudley Moore. He would bring everybody together the way Hearst would bring people to his castle, Edwards said. One of the biggest names he met through Seckle was, and it says, then Tallulah Musk responded in print to accusations that Ghislaine Maxwell was the connector behind her marriage to Musk. But knowing Ghislaine's reputation as a matchmaker to the elite, it's not a rumor that should easily be dismissed. The small print email below touches on this. So let's look at this. It says, I have to actually really look at this because my eyes are bad. Hi, please keep me anonymous if you decide to post. I don't know if this is relevant in any way, but around 8 years or so ago, I was at Soho House in LA, and the person I was dating at the time introduced me to Ghislaine. She was at a table with 10 women, all of them attractive and young. After I met her, I found out that she was somebody who sells intimacy. Apparently, she did a lot of women who like women dinners. That's how Ryan Kavanaugh met his ex-wife, Jessica Rafi. Jessica used to consider herself somebody who likes men and women. So there's another elite connection for you. By the way, guys, please don't think I have any issue with the LGBT. Nothing but support and love for me for anybody in that arena, right? It's that sometimes YouTube gets trigger happy and they will literally censor those words and I'll get in trouble. That's how stupid YouTube, I love YouTube, but this is how stupid it can be. And so this is from Tallulah. It says, I don't usually comment on such things, but given the truly horrific nature of what is being implied up and down my timeline today, I wanted to respond publicly with Elon Musk's permission. However, I speak only for myself. And it says, to my knowledge, I have never met Ghislaine Maxwell. A photo of Elon and Maxwell is doing the rounds, taken at a party where I was also present. It is possible I was briefly introduced to her, but not in any way that I can remember. Elon and I met thousands of people over the course of our relationship. There will be countless of photos of Elon with people he doesn't know and happen to be standing next to at a party, which is what I've said, and I can understand that logic. Elon and I went to Epstein's house in New York once as part of an itinerary of appointments. I can't even date it to a year. We used to travel constantly for work, and the situation was always pretty similar in any city or country. Back-to-back meetings, a car with CPO drivers, and often a contact minder guide. This trip was no different. There was a man taking us around the city and introducing us to various people, which, again, I can see that. And here's the thing, because people have said, well, Elon says you never met him, doesn't remember. Well, she says she got Elon's permission to write this. So maybe Elon was like, oh yeah, maybe we did meet him. Maybe Elon really doesn't remember. Not saying that's the case. Just trying to play devil's advocate. It says, the other thing I've seen implied is that Maxwell procured me as some type of child bride for Elon. Again, I don't know Maxwell. Elon and I met when I was 22 and he was on a business trip to London. It was a chance meeting engineered by no one. I'm distressed by something so truly awful being thrown around this court of Twitter. I hope that every victim of Jeff's finds justice and peace, and that any person involved in harming underage girls is punished to the fullest extent of the law. Agreed. I think we can all agree there. And then here we go. It says 6. Initially, the website Snopes deemed the email from Epstein to Musk asking if he met up with Ghislaine at Kung Fu practice, whatever that means, as fake. But later they retracted that conclusion when an oversight about the website's origins was corrected, giving the email new credibility. And now it's been declared undecided. So here it is. Says, from Elon Musk, all good, to Jeff. And it says, I did, thank you. And you see down here, it says, Elon, were you able to meet up with Ghislaine at Kung Fu practice on Saturday? And he says, I did. Now, and you can see it right here. Interesting. Smiley face. It says the SA payoff. Musk pays an ex-employee $250,000 to settle an SA suit out of court after offering to buy her a horse in exchange for a intimate massage. It says, the attendant worked as a member of the cabin crew on a contract basis for SpaceX corporate jet fleet. She accused Musk of exposing his I'm sorry, I'm blanking on how to even put this. Exposing his body parts that were aroused aroused body parts to her, rubbing her leg without consent, and offering to buy her a horse in exchange for a intimate massage, according to interviews and documents obtained by Insider. The incident, which took place in 2016, is alleged in a declaration signed by a friend of the attendant and prepared in support of her claim. The details in this story are drawn from the declaration as well as other documents, including email correspondence and other records shared with Insider by a friend. Wow, so we have eyewitnesses and we have more people coming forward on it. Because I was about to say, well, one accusation doesn't make it true, I'm not saying it's not true. But then if you have more eyewitnesses and people coming forward, it lends credibility. According to the declaration, the attendant confided to the friend that after taking the flight attendant job, she was encouraged to get licensed as a masseuse so that she could give Musk massages. It was during one such massage in a private cabin on Musk's Gulf Stream, she told a friend that Musk propositioned her. So it says, finally, and then here's Elon. Elon says, this is a tweet from him, finally we get to use elongate as a scandal name. It's kind of perfect. Okay, that's funny. I'm not laughing at the situation, but it is funny. He says, if ever there's a scandal about me, please call it elongate. I shouldn't laugh, but he's funny as stupid. Then it says, veiled cuddle party confirmation. It was brought to my attention by a follower on Instagram that 3 days after the cuddle party post was published, Musk appeared on the Full Send podcast where he made a concentrated effort to address the Gatsby party he said he hosted at his home in the Bay Area. Confirming the party did happen, he also added that his parties are typically high production with many performers on site. Oh, really? The Gatsby party was mentioned a total of 3 times during the episode. Did a video on this too, go check that out. So either he wanted to confirm the story on his terms or he addressed it casually in such a setting to lighten the accusations now attached to it. Either way, I'm counting it as one of his smarter PR moves. Wow, look at this. Airmail Weekly. There are lots of connections here. This is one of those things we'll have to dive into another day. There's just too much going on. What is that? Okay, let's keep going. And that's where you can see from the Full Send podcast, which again, I have a video on if you want to see, and I break all that down. So check the cards. I'll probably put it in there. And now, about Cara Delevingne while we're at it. In other loosely related but trial-associated news, it may be a good time to voice our concern for the well-being of Cara Delevingne. I've heard rumors for a while now about a ketamine addiction, to the point of dragging microwaves to Mexico to heat on vacation? I don't even know, what is ketamine? What is that? Is that the one that's kind of like the one that you like put in your arm that makes you sleepy? Is that what that is? I don't know. Sound off in the comments. I don't know much about these things. So it says, but the videos lately are worrisome. Watching her rummage aimlessly through her trunk in a random parking lot is reminiscent of Amy Winehouse at the end. Quite a tragic scene to replay. What I find baffling is how the topic on blatant display here is overlooked in headlines. I found one, while someone like Johnny Depp can trip on a cobblestone walkway, come out of an Irish pub, and be declared a rambling drunk in rotating media blurbs. Amen, girl. Funny what they pick and choose to cover. Even funnier is what they allow to ignore. Again, that's why when I see the media rail, when I see them rail on Johnny Depp, when I see them rail on Elon, it makes me pause because I don't trust it. And you can see Cara Delevingne's, this is a video apparently, I'm not going to play it right now, erratic behavior, fidgeting, and tremors in recent interviews sparks concern among fans. I won't play it right now, this video is already super long, and then here's what looks like she's making a face where she's on something, I'm assuming. That's sad. If that's what's happening, that is very sad. And you know what? Prayers to her, prayers to anybody who's going through something like that, because that is, that's not something you want to go through, right? But, okay, so let's talk a little bit. So me and my ill-fitting dress, once again, every time I look at the monitor, I'm like, what am I doing? Guys, when I looked in the mirror and put this on, I was able to kind of, you know, put stuff in the right place that looked fine. I come on here, it just looks worse and worse. But you know what? I don't care. It is what it is, like I said. It's just trial and error, but this is a weird one because like she said, I'm of the mindset, this dress just keeps going down. I like Musk. I do in many ways. And I like that he's not like the other crazy billionaires in a sense. And he is more of the people. But like I said, and I want you guys, I really want to put this in place. I'm not here to say that Elon is bad or that Elon is Or that he's not bad. I don't know the guy, right? I told you guys I have these weird fantasies. And my fantasies are never about intimacy. It's stuff like I want to meet Elon in a bar for like 5 or 10 minutes, have him have a beer and me have a strong ice water. Same thing with President Bush. Not the older one, but the younger one, right? I have a theory on him, the junior Bush. I don't think he wanted to be president at all. I think that his family kind of held a weapon up to him and said, you're doing this. And I think deep down, he might actually be a decent person that's just caught in a horrible family. I don't know. I just have this weird intuition about him, but I think he'd be really fun to just sit and shoot the crap with, right? And I'd love to pick Elon's brain. And like I said, here's the thing. I think it's really easy for us who don't have a lot of money and wealth, right? I think it's easy for people like us in our positions to look at situations like this and think that everybody with money is just awful. And I don't think that's the case. I don't. And we can argue it up one side and down the other, right? And we can argue that having that much money, that's an obscene amount of wealth, and I can completely agree. But with that being said, I don't think that we can just paint Elon as awful simply because he has money. And because of the money, he's connected to all of these people. Guys, of course he's connected to all of these people. Anybody with this much money is. Does that mean he's partaking? With that being said, I'm not saying it does, and I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying not everybody with money is awful. And because the media rails on him, I tend to trust him more. With that being said, when you have that money and you are surrounded by all of that evil, are the temptations there all the time? Absolutely. And people could say, with this situation with this person in the massage, right? With that situation, well, that is awful. And, he basically tried to pay her off and there are eyewitnesses and that sort of thing, right? We weren't there. We don't know what happened. And I'm trying to keep an open mind simply because of what we've seen with Johnny Depp. If that did happen, that's disgusting. And I'm sad that I'm sad that she was ever put in a position where her bosses were like, learn masseuse work, give these people massages. That's disgusting. And we have to wonder, is Elon lying about not knowing Jeff? We have too much evidence coming out. There is too much evidence. And then that email looks like it was true. So he was emailing Jeff. We know that at least him and Tallulah met him on one occasion. He's had dinner with them on one occasion, been photobombed by Ghislaine, and apparently Jeff set up a meeting directly with Ghislaine. And that they toured Tesla. Or is it possible that Elon just doesn't remember any of this? But Elon is a super brain. Is Elon going to have a bunch of chronic health issues or issues at all where he's going to forget? I don't know. And that's the thing. I don't know. I wasn't there, right? But this is interesting. And I can't wait to see what more information comes out from Jessica. What do you think? Is Elon a turd? And that's why he dated Heard the turds? Just a couple of turds. Do you think that all this is true? Do you think this is being blown out of proportion? Sound off in the comments. I'd like to know what you guys think. And if you like content like this and want to see more, because I will be covering it, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Your girl would love to have you. We'd love to have you around. Okay, guys, I think that's it for me here today, and I'll end it, and I'm going to get out this dress as soon as I can. All right, guys, take care. Lots of love, lots of blessings. Till the next video, I'm giving everybody hugs, kisses, stay safe, and as always, your girl will see you soon. Bye, guys.